So I had a look up, and the Grand Companies, the only difference is aesthetic. So I looked at the armor and gear and stuff you get from them. I think I've chosen who I want as my Grand Company. But let's do the adventure things. Oh, we've got a new unlock thing here. What do you offer me? Several adventurers are having difficulty summoning their retainers. Should you wish to offer your assistance, you'll find these troubled souls in limbs of the Minza, Gridanian Odor. The rewards will be the same regardless of whom you help, so do not hesitate to aid the adventurer of your choice. I wonder if the troubled adventurer is better to aid the one that's going to be for the faction of your Grand Company. Hey, they got some crystal fishing pole. Oh no, not crystal. It's weirdly mechanical. It just glows. Okay.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
These two? Aren't these the two that we saw on the caravan when we first came here?
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day. for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk
pox
the
on the
high
bloody
roads without
Ixal.
fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
All
forest.
the elementals!
If you'll permit me, Alfie no. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler.
I mean, pretty sure you were on the caravan that I was, and we were next to each other.
You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
So the Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the most troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition and want to summon the bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians. Until recently, at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu. The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict their last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before broken. Twelveswood were grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. People are hopeful restoring the wood, and that by the power of the elementals will put an end to their woes. And how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Do we really need a history lesson? Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. With the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later they'll come to an all-out war. And where does the Order of the Twin Adder need the help of it, or the help it can muster? How valuable might the aid of a capable adventure prove to them then? Well, perhaps we will find out if the Outer Seedseer's words fell on fertile ground. I don't know.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore.
Hurrah! Roban!
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Nalthal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Uldar stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Uldar, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Uldar. As Uldar prospers, so shall her people.
Ja for Uldar!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raubon? People of Uldar, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Uldar. Yet those who measured that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people.
Says the rich person covered in jewels and gold.
Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Uldar, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are by fire reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
I fancy meeting you again.
The Eldons have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit that I killed. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. No, it's my distaste of the Eldons, apparently. The Eldons do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So, have they dealt with Ifrit thus far? Smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Guardians have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Elder has no clear policy of how to deal with them. And these are like clocks. And they said this is how it's remembered, or something like that. Like, are these time travelers? It's only been 5 years, so they could have lived through it. It's just, I don't know, the way they said it. And then there's these clocks, which seems highly suspicious. If they're not time travelers, why do they have weird clocks on their chests? Huh. After all, not even the Sultan's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that Eorzea are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Oldens send their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is brought with blood. It is a war of attrition, which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder then that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. As such, a desperate hour, an adventure of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. I don't trust them. To attend the remembrance service, be quick. The Admiral is due to give her address at any moment.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilfir's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishbuck
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
while the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all!
Long live the Admiral! Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass? I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Lominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish like Sahajin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Guardians have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lominsians' backyard. And that is to say, naught for the eternal strife, a nation of pirates. There is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Guardians whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsians are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take a decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom standard will be drenched in a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to the crew is beyond question. So I think I'll side with Maelstrom. They've got a cool ship standard. The colours are red and black. And they fight for freedom. Lilith, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service is now concluded? A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence. Yeah, right. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted, although we have to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. I have to go back? Jeez. Welcome back, Lilith. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as they had hoped? Each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Lilith. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Wheels of change are in motion, are they? They were with us on the fucking caravan. And they got these what I think are time travel devices. It's gotta be right. The clock, the weird gadgets on it. We don't know where we came from. They saved our lives and brought us to the future. We were in the battle. They decided to save us.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
But why us though? Were we like the best one on the field? Or just the closest?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies.
True.
As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Actually, they must have had the devices and went back in time to grab us, so it must be important, right? Otherwise, why us?
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alizé, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Select a Grand Company. Okay, red and black, I choose you. How was the Admiral's speech? Ah, but you need not explain. Did you stand before me now is answer enough? You've resolved to join the Maelstrom, have you not? Yes. That's a spirit, lass. With allies like you, how much stronger is our crew? Let's brave the seas together, friend. Now the choice is made, it's time to add your name to our rolls. Make your way to Limsa Laminza and seek out our Grand Company's headquarters. And we get a red die. Dalamud. Red die. Maelstrom Command is located on the upper decks. I'll send word to our personnel officer to expect you. The duties of a Maelstrom soldier can be both audacious and challenging, but I promise you, you'll not regret this choice. May your passage be swift and your bearing sure. Okay, so let's join our Grand Company. Well, we've already joined, but let's make it official. Hail, adventurer, what business have you at Maelstrom Command? My name is Light of Kalinstar. I believe you are expecting me? Light of Kalinstar. Aye, our recruitment officer sent word of your coming. It shall be my honor to induct you into the ranks of the Maelstrom. Now, before I can accept your oath, you must be made aware of several... Sir! Was it private? This had better be important. Sir, we've received a report from a lookout in Tower Lanosia. Sir, Imperial forces have fired upon a High Wind Skyways airship. The vessel was in a bad way, sir, and appears to be banking for an emergency landing at Cedarwood. Cedarwood? Damn it! We have no troops available in the area. The bulk of our infantry is bulked down to the coast, skirmishing with the fishbacks. Kalinstar, this is highly irregular, but I fear your first duty in service to the Maelstrom needs to be unofficial. If our man in Lower Norcia is correct, the airship will come down in territory crawling with Imperial scouts. If there are any survivors, we must reach them before the Guardians do. Make haste to Cedarwood, locate the airship, and if any of its occupants are alive, make sure they come to no further harm. We'll see about swearing you in upon your return. Okay. Where are they? Somewhere I've never been. Unattuned. Unattuned, because I never went exploring here. Okay. So we all go down and through, okay. Hey, adventurer, what are you doing out here? No, wait, let's find some cover first. You sure you can do it without, like, breaking the loudest branches in the world? Maelstrom Command sent you? How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. Be at ease, sir. We are of the Maelstrom. You're a Garland Ironworks engineer, yes? One of our look has reported the attack on your craft. We're here to rescue you. You must be Kalinstar. Good work on reaching our friend here before the Imperials. I've never seen a craft of this design. It must be Garland's work. Is there no end to this man's treachery? The secrets of Magitech belong in Imperial hands. They are not to be squandered on Eorzean savages. We are taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must, and bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. Huh. Scouting party from Castrum Mossidans. I'd say seems they want your ship engineer. White, you have to help him. That fool of a Lalafell was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. Tiny Bronco? The tiny Bronco? Isn't that the new design people have been whispering about? It's the first airship we've built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland, well, since he went missing. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight. She was soaring. She really was. Those bastards blasted her out of the sky. Alright, pay attention. We're going to hit these Imperials hard and fast. If they want a souvenir from Eorzea, they can have a knife in the gut. They're not getting that ship. Oh, and don't forget to save the Lalafell. What do you say, Kalinstar? Ready to give those curs a hiding? I don't know, I feel kind of tiny. Like a tidal wave, let's charge. Oh, lads, charge. An ambush to arms. It looks like I stole aggro. What the? Pigs! Pigs and Wedge, of course. Wedge, you should have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. Too damn close. So how does she look anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss, but I think we can wire enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. A few minor modifications, we'll be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. We'll stand watch until the ship is ready to take off. The Imperials will come looking for their scouts eventually, but I doubt they'll get here for a good long while. Kalinstar, you're free to return to Maelstrom Command and complete your induction. Ordinarily, I'd ask you to stay, but I think we all feel better knowing an adventurer of your ability was safely sworn in and ready for the next mission. Rest assured, I'll inform Command of your part you played today. I just wanted to say sorry, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Seriously though, if I hadn't been for you and the Maelstrom lads here, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now, and I'm in your debt, friend. We both are. Wedge. Thank you. We're very grateful. Welcome back, Kalinstar. I just heard the report. You needn't be concerned about the engineers. They completed their return trip without further Imperial interference. I must admit, I had my doubts at first, but it seems the stories about you are true. I look forward to seeing what else you're capable of after you're properly inducted into the Maelstrom, of course. Now, speaking of your induction, oh, okay. Let us start afresh, shall we? You are welcome here, Light of Kalinstar. That such a well-respected adventurer would choose to join our ranks is most heartening. Before you swear your allegiance to us, however, it is only right that I tell you exactly what it is you will be joining. A grand company is more than simply a collection of soldiers. It is an all-encompassing organization which draws upon the resources of an entire city-state to form a united military force capable of standing against a nation's deadliest enemies. We of the Maelstrom are charged with meeting the threats posed by the primals and the Guardian Empire, and solving the many problems caused by the calamity. Every man and woman who serves under our colours has a role to play in keeping the great warship that is Limsa Laminza afloat, and on whatever heading Chief Admiral Muralwib Blurfuswin sees fit to set. As part of this grand vessel's crew, you'll be expected to take your turn at the oars, for the winds do not look favourable, alas, and the strength of arm may be all that sees us safe to port. If I've lost you with talk of ship and war? Let me put it another way. Maelstrom soldiers labours till her last breath. Fights till her last drop of blood. We give all in service to this nation, and no less is expected of you. Kalinstar. It is customary for new recruits to swear an oath of their own choosing upon entering the Maelstrom's ranks. Is there aught you'd like to say? Do I want to follow the Admiral? What if the Admiral turns out to be a bad person? What skills I have are yours till sea swallows all. Ah yes, the many and varied skills of the adventurer. I've no doubt that your travels have furnished you with such knowledge as will prove invaluable to our cause. Lilith Kalinstar, I hereby assign you the rank of Storm Private 3rd Class. You are now officially a soldier of the Maelstrom. Welcome aboard, Private. May you serve limbs of the Minza well till sea swallows all. Can you hear me, Lilith? This is Minfilia. An officer of the Maelstrom contacted me with the news of your enlistment. Enlistment. My congratulations, Private Kalinstar. I have no doubt that you are eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades, but I would ask you pay a visit to your old ones first. Remember, though you are now a woman of the storm, you are no less a scion. Pray return to the Waking Sands at your earliest convenience. There are some friends here whom I would very much like you to meet. We shall be waiting. No rest for the wicked, eh? Before you make yourself scarce, I recommend having a word with Commander Ricky. Might be worth your while. May now accept the quest, My Little Chocobo, Maelstrom, by speaking with Rashant Ricky. The quest may be completed in order to This quest must be completed in order to proceed to the end of the main scenario of A Realm Reborn. Part of Maelstrom now. Cool. Grand Company, assign the rank of Private Class. On the profile, okay.